Hello and welcome to Everything Day Trading here on YouTube. My name is Rick. In this video I'm going to walk you through how I was able to make $1,260.75 trading NASDAQ futures. Okay, so before we jump into how I made over $1,200 a day trading the NASDAQ, I want to take a minute and actually look at the risk management of the trade, right, or of my day trades. So I have a max daily loss limit of $1,200. That's the most I'm willing to risk in one day. Okay, I have a max total losses, like the most trades I can lose in one day is 4. Okay, so that's telling me that the most I should risk on any trade is $300. Okay, because if I have $300 at risk per trade, I lose 4 trades, I hit my max drawdown. Okay, so with that, we can say, okay, so if each point on the NASDAQ is $20, then that's a risk of, divide that by 20, that's giving you a risk of 15 points. Okay, and now once you have this, then you can, start playing with your reward part of it, right? Because you want to control your risk first. So, if you're going to do a 1-to-1, it's 1.5 or 15 to 15. You're going to be pretty much break even. But let's look at it at a 1.5. So if you got 15 points of risk, and you multiply that by 1.5, that's going to give you 22 and a half. Yeah, I think I already did the math. So 15 times 1.5 is 22 and a half of reward. Okay, so you're risking 15 to make 22.5. Okay, now you have to find you a setup or a strategy that can produce, roughly, 50% or better, pretty preferably 60%, 55, 60% better, and just control your risk, right? So what I actually did was, I don't want to risk 15 points per trade because I'm scalping, right? I want to be in and out. So I actually did this. I took, okay, all these numbers are the same, but what I did was, instead of having 15 points of risk for 22 and a half reward, I actually divided that by 3. Okay, now that's going to give me 5 points of risk, right, versus 7.5 reward. So this is risk, and this is RR for reward, right? And what does this 3 mean? Okay, that's giving me 3 contracts now. Oh, it should be a C. Okay, so now I'm trading with a larger position, but I'm shooting for smaller targets. Okay, so now what does this do? Well, if I'm trading three contracts, right? 3, and each point's worth $20, right? So that's 60 times 5. That's my $300. Okay. So now if I'm taking 3 times 20 equals 60, right? Times 7.5 equals 450. So, that's a $150 difference. So in the end, on 100 trades, I'd be profitable. Okay, and all you got to do is take this times 100 times 100, and that's going to be 300 times 100 is 30,000, and 450 times 100 is 45. So you got 30,000 and 45,000. So theoretically, I'd be up 15,000 if, you know, I'm winning 60-40, you know, or at least, I guess that'd be 50-50, right? So that's, you know, just make sure you control your risk. Okay, so now let's jump into the chart. Okay, so now we're looking at the NASDAQ chart here. This is a 233 tick chart. Just hit your time period here, click ticks, and I believe it defaults to 233. If not, just type it in there and then click save, and that'll plot your chart that way. So basically what I did is I wanted to find a strategy that I could use that would follow the trend and help me you know, stay on the right side of the trade. So, you know, when you look at a chart, I mean, you can kind of tell that, you know, price is kind of moving up. We're zigzagging, you know what I mean? But, you know, I wanted to find a way that would actually make it easier on the eyes, right? So, if I plot up my trades I took today, I'm not going to go through all of them because I took, I don't know, 45 trades. Was it not plotting? It didn't. It's not plotting none of my trades. What the hell? I'm not sure why it's not plotting my trade. That's weird. Okay, anyways. I'm sure it's not plotting. But anyways, this is a trend following strategy. And basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the direction, right? And I'm trying to catch on, trying to hop on the trend. So to do that, I use 3 EMAs. I use the 9 EMA. I use the 65 EMA. I actually use the VWAP. Okay. I've got the cumulative delta. I use this a little bit, but not as much. So I mean, I mean, if you know how to use it, you're gonna put it on there. But I'm not gonna get into a whole lot of that. And then average true range. Okay. Now, why is the average true range important? Well, because I want to make sure that if I'm running a 5-point stop, I don't want the range to be 8 or 9. You know what I mean? So, you know, 5 or 6, I'm good with. But I mean, it normally stays, you know, pretty tame. You know, the open gets a little wild, but overall, I mean, it's all right. Okay, so the keys are going to be the main thing is going to be the VWAP and the 9 and 65 EMA. So this strategy is pretty easy here. Let me, since this doesn't matter, let me delete this. Okay. So basically, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the 9 to, you know, to go short. I'm looking for the 9 EMA, the purple one, to cross below the blue one, right, and give me a nice fan out like something like this. Okay. Once we cross below, we kind of get a rally down. We came back up, and what I'm looking for is resistance to form. I want to see some kind of rejection at that level, and see we had this nice indecision candle here. So there's 2 ways you could play this. You could short the low. So once price comes through this low, you can take it short, stop somewhere above the high. You know, for me, it's 5 points. I'm just going to eyeball it, something like that. It might be off a little bit. Okay, and then I'm looking to catch my 7.5 points on the way down. Something like that. It's 2, 4, 6. So 76. So that's going to be 78. So that's 2, 4, 6. So right there is 8 points. So that would have been a winner. Right? We pushed down. We came back into the EMAs here. Right? We didn't quite touch it, but it's a nice rejection. We have a little bit of a shelf here. We rejected off that level, and then we closed lower. So this one here, you could have played it the same way as this one, or you could have waited for that close because we didn't quite get up in there. We're at structure. However you wanted to play it, right? Test it, make sure it works, and then boom, we rallied off. Next time, we rallied back up. Nice indecision, not really inside the or to the EMAs. I believe I did take this one, but it was a loser. But then I tried it again because we came up. You know, you got the indecisions here, and we had this nice bearish candle here, and then we went short again, and boom, it was a winner. I'm not sure why I'm not plotting. This one here, rally back up, nice bullish or bearish engulfing candle, and we tanked. I don't remember if I caught this one or not. I think I caught this one. I don't remember, but you can kind of see that we pull up. You know, if you get a loser, you know, you're going to stop out for 5, but then your winner's going to come right back. Okay. Now here we're getting into the the last hour of the trading day, so you know be careful because volatility can pick up. I think I took this one, but there's multiple trade setups. You know what I mean? And of course we get to the close and we kind of just chopped. But it's the same way for long setups. Okay, we got the cross. Wait for the pullback. Okay, we didn't quite get there, but a nice indecision candle. We closed green, bang. From say 78 to 86, 87. So I mean that's almost 10 points. Pull back into this area here, into the EMAs. We found support. You know what I mean? So even if you weren't convicted because of these wicks, you know, eventually, you know, the buyer stepped back in, and then bang. Okay, we pulled back down. We kind of turned in here. Maybe you were aggressive. You know, maybe you were impatient. You know, maybe you thought it was going to hold. 'Cause, you know, you were on a hot streak. You took a loss, but you waited. You know what I mean? And we gave up the EMA, but we kind of found support. Nice indecision. Closed green. Bang. Okay, we kind of found support in here, but we're below. Found support here. We reclaimed the 65 on this candle here. 89 to 98, almost 10 points. May or may not have taken that one because the EMAs are starting to flatten out. Let's see. Here's a couple of shorts. Okay, we kind of the EMAs are kind of squishing here. We start going lower. EMAs are fanning out. Came back in. Nice indecision. Short it. Bang. Pull back. Maybe not quite to the EMA. Bang. Bang. You know what I mean? Depending on how you played this, you know, this would have been a loser. Depending on how you played, like that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta be careful because you want to make sure that your EMAs aren't squished. You want to be fanned out. You know what I mean? So, and what does it mean to have fanned out? I mean, it's just this right here is perfect. I mean, you know, it's going. This is perfect. You know, they're nice and spaced out. They're going in the same direction. They're not squeezing together. You know, if I put that right there, you can look at that and say, well, price is going from the top left to the bottom right. We're going down. Okay, so that's one way to look at it. You can look right here. Well, price is going from the bottom left to the upper right. We're going up. So, you know, you want to have a clean direction. Now, Why do I have the VWAP on there? Well, if you look at this trade here, you know, you got your EMAs scrunched up. We came up into the EMA or the VWAP, rejected off of that, and bang, we closed lower. So you could have taken this as a short, or you could have shorted this up here if you're aggressive, and then bang, it would have been a winner. Okay, you could have shorted up here. We kind of got rejected off of that. We broke it. So, you know, it's a winner hindsight, but you know, it could have been easier a loser. We came over here. We didn't get rid of any rejection here. We kind of broke through it, broke down. So I wouldn't have taken this because I'd have been thinking that we could have break longer or, you know, go higher, but the EMAs aren't looking very good. So, and then you come down, you blow it. So now you kind of got rejected off of it here. You came down, you broke above it. You came down, rejected again. This nice red candle here, take it short. This is all chop. Okay, see how the EMAs are nice and fanned out. We pull back in. We got a little bit of blip here. We found resistance here. Take it short. Rally back up. Found resistance. Take it short. Rally back up. Kind of got a little bit of congestion in here. You know what I mean? But eventually it did fall. Now this one here, we rallied up on the other side. At this point, I wouldn't be looking for shorts. I'd be looking for some kind of reversal. But we didn't get it because the EMA never crossed. They didn't cross till over here. Okay. You know, if you're looking at this live in the market and you're seeing this right here, you know, I mean, well, I mean, the EMAs are kind of fanned out, so this here may have been a loser because it just dumped. Okay. This right here, we kind of pull back, reclaim the EMAs, rejected off of it, boom. Pull back in, rejected, boom. Okay, this is 9 o'clock, so we came down, came back in, boom. Pull back up, boom. Okay, now look at this. This is all junk. Okay, that's from like 8:34 to 9 o'clock. So, but look at this. Okay, this is going into the open. Okay, and I took some of these trades, but I don't know why it's not loading up, so I can't share them with you. But you know, we pull back into the EMAs, bang, pull back, bang, pull back. Okay, probably got stopped out on this one. A lot of churn. I think I did take this, looking for a new high of day, going into the open. Got stopped out, and we pulled back into the 65, found support, and look at that rip, bang. Okay, pulled back into the EMAs. Okay, probably got stopped out. Okay, because it just churned, and chopped you up. I mean, it's fairly simple. So the idea is, you know, control your risk. Find a low cost entry, you know, like this right here, and then look for your bang. But I mean, that's really it. So I mean, that's the strategy that I used to gain over $1,200 out of the market today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not familiar with the cumulative delta, I'll put a link in the description below so you can kind of read up on it. I'm trying to keep this video as simple as I can. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And thanks for watching.